It's showtime, folks.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the best television spin-offs starring standout secondary characters.
And stay tuned because Family Matters is coming up next.
You're gonna love it.
Number 10, Mork and Mindy.
So, you're from outer space.
Yes, do you mind if I take a few pictures for the folks on the home planet? They'd like to get some postcards.
Happy Days famously jumped the shark by having Fonzie, well, jump a shark. But it was the introduction of Mork that finally confirmed viewers were no longer watching the same show they started back in 1978.
Good evening, Earthling.
Inspired by the popularity of Star Wars, Mork was an extraterrestrial being initially written to be part of a dream sequence. Robin Williams turned out to be too entertaining to ignore, however, and the episode was reworked to have Mork wiping the memories of those he saw instead. A spin-off titled Mork and Mindy was conceived shortly thereafter, which followed Mork as he learned more about life on Earth.
We want you to learn all we can about primitive societies. Your mission is to report back to me mentally about the things you learn there.
This uniquely charming sitcom followed in the footsteps of another successful Happy Days spin-off, Laverne and Shirley. Number 9, Jack Harkness, Torchwood.
I'm getting tired of following you.
No, you're not. And you never will.
With an over 60-year history under its belt, it may come as a surprise that Doctor Who's first spin-off to make it past the pilot stage wasn't until 2006. The series, titled Torchwood, starred futuristic conman Jack Harkness in the leading role, and offered a more adult alternative to its popular predecessor.
I spent a long time in prison, and I know the smile of a man who's done terrible things.
The character had previously been introduced in the first season of Doctor Who's revival series, where he acted as a temporary companion alongside Rose and the Ninth Doctor. Notably, he was the series' first LGBTQIA+ character, a trait which would be explored further through his relationships on Torchwood.
And I wouldn't change that for the world.
Number 8, Angel.
Los Angeles. You see it at night, and it shines. A beacon. People are drawn to it. People and other things.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a teen show sensation, introducing a compelling horror edge to the typical coming-of-age format. And although the series was a hit with all ages, it quickly became clear that there was an untapped potential to explore even darker stories in the universe for a more adult audience.
How can we be together if the cost is your life? Or the lives of others?
Thus, Angel was created, a half neo-noir, half supernatural thriller centered around the exploits of the human-ensouled vampire of the same name. Typical of Whedon-fronted projects, the show was not without its moments of levity, but it was more often praised for its surprisingly harrowing dramatic moments. As the series went on, its plots became more and more complex, often tackling themes of alcohol use disorder, redemption, and mortality.
The world of men, person dies, they stay that way.
Unless you're a vampire.
Or the ghost of one that saved the world.
Or Buffy. Death doesn't have to be the end.
Number 7, Diane Lockhart, The Good Fight.
Why? Because it's not over yet.
Just as The Good Wife began with Alicia rebuilding her career after a scandal, The Good Fight sees Diane Lockhart starting from the bottom after her reputation is destroyed. Thankfully, Diane finds an ally in fellow Good Wife alumni, Luca Quinn, whose firm hires her in the midst of a police brutality case.
The government asks the defendant be detained pending trial, both as a flight risk and a danger to the community.
Seriously, what kind of danger to the community?
With no record.
The series largely did away with The Good Wife's emphasis on romance, instead focusing on real-world social and political issues. This shifted focus was never more apparent than in the series' second and third seasons, which introduced delightfully animated segments recapping subjects addressed by the series.
Republicans, Democrats, in-betweeners, looking for high crimes and misdemeanors. Maybe this was taking your crawl, but nobody's above the law.
A similar sense of whimsy led to a second Good Wife spin-off in 2024, this time centered around untraditional attorney Elsbeth Tassioni. Number 6. Alan Shore and Denny Crane, Boston Legal. While some series choose to focus spin-offs on more serious aspects of their created universes, others go in the opposite direction. Boston Legal is one of the latter.
So it was self-defense?
Absolutely.
I mean, if I didn't have my gun.
You'd be dead.
Gone.
Fini.
I had to shoot.
Boom.
Saved my life.
And Jerry's.
Didn't shoot to kill.
Just a wound.
Took a knee.
And 2 feet.
Boom.
Boom.
And boom.
Although both The Practice and Boston Legal are considered comedic dramas, Boston Legal leaned into the absurdity of its characters far more often than its predecessor. It even had moments where its characters broke the fourth wall.
Where are the new guys?
Oh, please. If there were new guys, they'd have shown up in the season premiere.
This angle was largely achievable thanks to the new series' returning characters, Alan Shore and Denny Crane, who were played by James Spader and William Shatner respectively. The pair are individually brilliant, but together they really shine.
What are you doing in my bed? I don't know! What do you mean you don't know? I got scared.
Number 5. George and Louise Jefferson, The Jeffersons.
How about some more coffee, Louise? No thanks, George. I'll just drink what I have.
Shining a spotlight on America's prejudices through its flawed protagonists, All in the Family became one of TV's most influential sitcoms. Archie Bunker, the series' so-called lovable bigot, was a big part of that success, showing the ability of the average man to come to terms with the changing world around them.
Why are you looking at me that way? Did I say something wrong?
His neighbor, George Jefferson, acted as a perfect foil, though he notably held his own prejudices about then modern-day living. These would be explored and similarly dismantled in a spin-off titled The Jeffersons, which dealt with everything from intra-community racism to being transgender.
Everything about me was a woman except the way I looked, so I had the operation.
Like Archie and Edith before him, George and his wife maintained a hot and cold dynamic, with Louise acting as the voice of reason following George's ego-fueled outbursts. Number 4. Daria Morgendorffer, Daria.
Girls, I just want you to know your mother and I realize it's not easy moving to a whole new town. Well, especially for you, Daria, right?
Did we move?
If you didn't know that Daria was a spin-off, we can't say we blame you. The show could not be more different from its parent series, the explosively controversial Beavis and Butthead. While both focus on teen protagonists, and Daria even dabbles in violence, the female-fronted successor to Beavis and Butthead takes a more serious approach to growing up.
The popular guy died, and now I'm popular because I'm the misery chick. But I'm not miserable. I'm just not like them.
Daria herself is given new life in the title role, developing into a three-dimensional character with family, friends, and flaws. Toilet humor and crass catchphrases are traded in for biting satire and dryly delivered wit, while later seasons introduced an emotional resonance that was rare for MTV.
Jake, this isn't about you, it's about her, having a little trouble fitting in.
She doesn't want to fit in, damn it! Why can't you admit that?
Jake, she's a child, she doesn't know any better.
Number 3. Maude Finlay, Maude.
Well, hello, you must be Mrs. Evans. I hope you didn't have any trouble finding us.
Oh, no, ma'am. I heard you all the way from the bus stop.
All in the Family was revolutionary for its time, but it still had its limitations. The Jeffersons allowed writers to tackle similar social issues from a Black perspective, while Maude presented a feminist twist. Starring B. Arthur as the title character, who had previously featured twice as Edith's cousin on All in the Family, Maude was the antithesis of its predecessor. Its comedy had an often darker edge, allowing for more complete turns towards the dramatic, as with the series' famed abortion episode.
I think it would be wrong to have a child at our age.
Oh, so do I, Walter. Oh, Walter, so do I.
Although Maude's views more closely align with its creators than Archie's had, the series also wasn't afraid to lampoon her liberalism. Just as much of a cautionary tale, the show frequently highlighted the issues that could arise from faux support and overcompensation.
Maude, about the hang-up you don't have, please, let it bother you. Let it bother the hell out of you.
Number 2. Frasier Crane, Frasier.
For crying out loud! I finally bare my soul to all of Seattle and they're listening to Chopper Dave's Rush Hour Roundup.
With such a strong ensemble cast, many would have been happy to see any of the regular players on Cheers get their own series. But we think they made the right decision in choosing Frasier Crane. The Seattle-set sitcom Frasier deliberately distanced itself from its parent show, allowing star Kelsey Grammer the chance to develop his character in an entirely new context.
I thought I'd started my life with a clean slate. I had a picture of what it was going to be like, and then I don't know.
As a result, the series became one of the most acclaimed and celebrated spin-offs in the history of television. Decades after its original run, the show still holds, in part due to its timeless focus on human relationships rather than the issues of the day.
I made my father cry. Now don't you start. Oh, I'm only crying because you're crying. I'm not crying. I don't know what this is. I didn't even cry when I got shot.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Rhoda Morgenstern. Rhoda. Mary Tyler Moore's neighbor takes center stage in New York City.
My name is Rhoda Morgenstern. I was born in the Bronx, New York, in December 1941. I've always felt responsible for World War II.
Christopher Smith / Peacemaker. Peacemaker. John Cena's headstrong superhero makes the move to the small screen. Xena, warrior princess. Xena's surprise popularity helped her cheat an early death in Hercules: The Legendary Journeys and earn her own series.
I was chosen as the mother of the messenger. As long as Eve lives, I have the power to kill gods.
Brack and Zorak, The Brack Show. Everyone's favorite space ghost coast-to-coast characters hang out in this surreal slice of life.
What could possibly ruin a day such as this?
Hubba-dubba-do!
Oh, hello, Arthur.
His name's not Arthur, Mom.
Zorak.
Now we all know each other. Let's go.
Leroy Jethro Gibbs, NCIS. JAG was successful in its own right, but pales in comparison to this long-lived spin-off and its original protagonist.
What I saw in Kuwait, before that I was different. Took something from me. It's what war does.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Saul Goodman, Better Call Saul.
Very sharp, Mr. McGill. And here I thought all lawyers were idiots.
No, only half of us are idiots. The other half are crooks.
Initially envisioned as a more comedic companion to Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul quickly evolved into a series as tense and emotionally moving as its critically acclaimed predecessor.
Hold on, all right? They're on their way. They'll be here in a minute.
Jimmy, you know what?
Save your breath, okay? You're gonna be fine.
This was the greatest week of my life.
Centering around Bob Odenkirk's crooked criminal lawyer, this spin-off sought to answer one pressing question: what leads a man to becoming Saul Goodman? As it turns out, the answer is more complex than one might initially imagine, as the show dives into the intricacies of Jimmy McGill's romantic, familial, and cartel relationships.
You need to get your house in order.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. If you don't trust your men with your money, you have bigger problems than if you trust Saul Goodman.
Surpassing the expectations of the average prequel, Better Call Saul not only gives viewers a look into its title character's past, but his future, as well as a handful of unseen moments from Breaking Bad. Did you enjoy any of these spin-offs better than their parent shows? Let us know in the comments.
And there's no aspect, no facet, no moment of life that can't be improved with pizza. Thank you.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.